Okay, so for this deep dive, we're jumping into something I find just fascinating. The engineering history of how we, as a species, learned to cross oceans.
Yeah, it's a huge topic. We're tracking the technical leaps that took us from basically paddling along the coast.
To full-on global exploration. And we really want to focus on three things here, right? The actual evolution of the technology.
Exactly. And the specific problems these new technologies solved, and then, of course, the massive societal impact they had.
So where's our starting line?
We have to go way back, probably the Neolithic era, something like 7,000 years ago. You've got Egyptian papyrus reed boats, for example.
Which are great for rivers, I imagine. Shallow water.
Perfect for that. But they hug the coast. They're not built for the open sea. So the first big problem is pretty clear.
How do you build something that can leave the sight of land and, not sink in the first major storm? You need real structural integrity.
And for that, we absolutely have to start in China. With the invention of the watertight bulkhead, we know it was firmly in use by the Tang dynasty, so the 7th century.
Right. And the genius of it is its simplicity, isn't it? You just divide the hull into, a dozen or more separate sections?
Sometimes 12, sometimes up to 18. And it completely solved the problem of catastrophic failure. If one section floods,
The rest of the ship stays afloat. It's a radical leap in safety.
a huge leap. And that safety allowed for a radical increase in scale. You just can't build something like Zhang. He's treasure ships in the 15th century.
Which were supposedly enormous, like 120 meters long.
Exactly. You can't do that without this kind of redundancy. The societal impact was, well, immediate. You suddenly have Song Dynasty ships carrying 1,500 tons of cargo. It cemented China's maritime dominance early on.
What's so interesting is that while China is solving the problem of sinking, the Mediterranean world seems focused on something else entirely.
Speed and maneuverability.
Right.
Precisely. The Phoenicians give us the round-bottom ship, which is better for cargo, and then the Greeks perfect the trireme.
With the three tiers of oarsmen.
Yep, all for these incredible bursts of speed, maybe 8 or 9 knots. Absolutely essential for naval warfare.
And that line of thinking, that evolution, eventually leads us to the caravel in 15th century Europe, and to a different kind of propulsion. The lateen sail.
The triangular sail. And the problem that solved wasn't just raw speed, it was upwind performance.
Which is a huge deal. A square sail really only works if the wind is behind you.
But the lateen sail lets you tack into the wind. That change was transformative. Suddenly, crossing the Atlantic becomes a real, repeatable possibility. You're not just waiting for the right season anymore.
Okay, so we have ships that are safer and faster, but you're still blind out there if you can't navigate.
You're completely lost. Which brings us to the next leap, and again, we're looking at China. The application of a magnetic compass to navigation.
This was during the Song Dynasty, so around the 12th century.
That's right. And you have to imagine what it was like before this. You relied on the sun, the stars, or seeing the coast. If you get a week of solid cloud cover,
You're done for. You have no idea which way you're heading.
the compass solved that. It gave you reliable direction no matter the weather. The safety and feasibility of long voyages just shot through the roof. And it spread pretty quickly, reaching Europe by the 13th century.
But that's instrument-based navigation. There was a completely different approach being mastered on the other side of the world.
Oh, yes. The Polynesians, what they accomplished is just staggering. They're settling places like New Zealand around 1300, crossing the largest ocean on Earth with no instruments at all.
So their technology was knowledge.
It was pure accumulated knowledge, reading nature as an instrument. They used the stars, of course, but their real expertise was in seeing the invisible signs.
Like what, specifically?
Things like the way waves refract off an island that's still miles below the horizon, tiny changes in ocean currents, even tracking the specific flight paths of birds they knew would be heading back to land.
Wow. So they solved the problem of long-distance navigation with just observation and intellect.
It's an incredible testament to human ingenuity.
So when we talk about the Age of Discovery, it really wasn't one thing, was it? It was a fusion of all these different technical leaps from all over the world.
Absolutely. You needed the Chinese bulkheads and compass, you needed the Mediterranean sails and astronomy, you needed that deep natural knowledge the Polynesians perfected.
It was a global effort, really, solving those three fundamental problems: sinking, speed, and getting lost.
Sinkage, speed, and blindness. That's what it took to go from hugging a coastline to confidently crossing an ocean.
So, for you listening, here's a final thought. When you consider how all these innovations were needed to connect our world, which of these ancient technologies, maybe one you'd forgotten about, do you think has the greatest impact on how we see global connectivity today?